Actually, let's keep this PG rated, folks. Holy you know what. Thanks to COVID-19, even going to the loo has become ludicrous. Indeed, to paraphrase that lyric from Santa Claus is Coming to Town, at Uniqlo's Square One location in Mississauga, Ontario, they know when you've been peeing, they know when you have pooed. How disturbing is that? In the name of COVID-19 protocols, the Uniqlo public restroom at the Square One shopping mall is being monitored? Now, yes, folks, just when you thought COVID-19 protocols couldn't get any more batshite crazy, along comes the Uniqlo bathroom rules, equal parts baffling and disturbing. Yes, even using the crapper during COVID has become complicated for reasons that remain utterly mysterious. But it's the science, stupid. Yeah, right. In any event, you had plenty to say about Uniqlo's crappy policy. Psycho Geek writes, 2 persons may enter, so men can enter the ladies' room. Cool. You know, Psycho Geek, what a great observation, an observation I failed to make when I visited this mall. This store is obviously so politically correct that it can't use the word woman for the ladies' room and men for the place where the gents must go. No, that would obviously be an affront to the various gender-fluid, non-binary spirit unicorns out there. So men and women are now simply interchangeable persons. I wonder if there is also a nursing area at this mall for pregnant people, as the CBC and Dr. Theresa Tam like to call them. Dennis W. writes, as for what the next level of restroom monitoring might be, they might implement toilet paper sheet counters. But wait, rather than fining you for exceeding the recommended amount, new TP dispensers may only output a maximum amount of paper before shutting down and waiting for the next occupant to arrive. You may want to start packing a roll of TP with you before you leave home. You know, Dennis, I wouldn't put that past them, and the overseers would obviously be doing this in the name of not just COVID, but as a form of environmental stewardship. Somewhere in Sweden, the female version of the kid from Deliverance is smiling. Pop Shop Kid writes, the lunacy only gets worse and worse in Canada. Ford says things are going back to total normal in March. Don't count on it. This stuff ain't going away for a long, long time. Love that line. COVID Karens. Well, Pop Shop Kid, I tend to believe the Premier, although I wouldn't bet the house on it, that many of these restrictions are going to be toast by the end of March. After all, June 2nd is Election Day, and surely Doug Ford knows that a big, big part of his base, aka the bunch of yahoos, as Ford likes to call them, are furious with the way this province has been run these past 18 months. As for the COVID Karens, I reckon they tend to vote Liberal and NDP. Adrian Simpkins writes, what happens when more than 4 people enter? Is a Terminator deployed, perhaps? Yeah, you know, another great observation. Can you imagine, folks, the poor security guard who is dispatched to the Uniqlo bathrooms issuing hasta la vista orders to get those breaking the attendance rules out of there? Gee, where is janitor in a drum when you really need him? Richard Plant writes, David, I've heard you report on lunacy after lunacy after lunacy over the years, especially the last 2 years. I can't wait to hear you say the words, at last, folks, sanity is starting to appear once again. This washroom idiocy is a new low by the criminals in the command centers of public policy. Oust them and their petty games upon our sensibilities. Well, Mr. Plant, I can't wait to make such a report about a return to sanity. These are the craziest times I've ever lived through. The question is, are we at peak crazy yet, folks? And I think the answer is no. And finally, Larry Jackson writes, shouldn't they be tracking your carbon poo print while they're at it? Yikes. Larry, to quote the psycho Andrew Robinson character from Dirty Harry, please, I scare easy. Besides, don't give our COVID overseers any more ideas, my friend. Aren't things bad enough as is? Well, that wraps up another. Hey folks, that was an excerpt from my show, Rebel Roundup. Now, to get the full meal deal, why not go to Rebel News Plus, sign up, and never miss a Rebel News Plus show in the future.